This video shows how to use deconstructing word questions for year 3 to help create lessons to help children to be able to answer word questions. So when you order deconstructed worded questions for year 3, you receive this PDF file. It's really important that you also go down and click on the link here, and there's other links throughout the document, to download the task build-ups as well. Now, there's a PowerPoint file or a Google Slides file that are used for the interactive whole class teaching elements. And just click on those links and you can then download those files. So let's have a look at the lesson structure. Build 1 and Build 2 are from the PowerPoint or the Google Slides file, and they're the interactive whole class teaching bits. And then from the PDF file, you can print task A, and then we get to children's independent practice, task B, version 1 and 2, and there's an extend task. So let me show you one example lesson. This is days and months. I thought this one was quite an interesting one. Some of the bits from Build 1, we have different kinds of questions like, this month has 30 days. This month is before October. Easter is never in this month. Which month or months could this be? And in this instance, a lot of the children recognized it could be September, but we look at also it could be June. And then we see this calendar. The first day of May is a Wednesday. The last day of May be? Some children think it's a Wednesday. Some children think it's a Sunday. And we actually see, look, with 31 days in May, it's a Friday. And then that brings us to task A. So we print task A. I generally give the children this in pairs. It's questions for them to discuss, find different possible answers. In this instance, reflect on some of the different statements. And then they could maybe create their own statements as well, which we bring the class back together after 5 or 6 minutes and look at some of those responses. And that leads us into Build 2. And some of the elements from Build 2 I'll show you here. So we have to think, well, the last day of October, well, that must have been a Wednesday. And then the first day of December is we'll have to figure out, well, how many days are there in November to be able to answer that question? And we see it's a Saturday. And then there's other discussion prompts like this. Max went to Italy on the 24th of July. He returned home after 1 week. Again, we have to think, well, how many days in the month of July to be able to answer that question? And then we see the answer. There's other prompts as well, but then that builds into the children's independent practice. We print the documents from task B version 1 or 2, and then there's also an extend task. Now, generally, there's some initial scaffold in the questions. Task B version 2 is a little bit more difficult, lots of little thought-provoking bits, and then the extend task is much more open. If I just draw your attention to task B version 1 and the last question, Amy and Helen spent 1 month in Paris, and that's true. Helen was in Paris for longer than Amy. That's also true. Children recognizing that both statements could be true. There's the kind of nuance there. But I hope that video helps to show you the structure, not just of this task, but of all the tasks and how they can help you to create lessons.